If you guys are looking for a place to get some reliable Ultimate Team coins, be sure to check the link in the description below to cointraders.co and use code LEGACY for 5% off of your purchase. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We have just seen our Team of the Years released, which means we have to do some backpedaling on these Evos. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest. I made a mistake. I told you guys earlier to, you want to avoid some of these younger guys like the Rasmus Dahlins. Why? Because in previous years, and by previous, I mean every year, this is the first time I've seen EA do this, where they went out there and they automatically gave the first line players 99s, they automatically gave the second line player 97s, third line player 96s, and because Dahlin was the first line player, he got that 99. If they didn't automatically do that 99, I still would say, I feel very comfortable saying he'd probably have like a 94 or 95 at best right now, but because they did that, it's not the case. It's still crazy though. You look and you see these guys are going for 400k. 400k for the Evos. I'm not going to go down the road of telling you to buy an Evo or not to buy an Evo because I don't like buying Evos this late in the year when it comes to the guys that already got their upgrades. I want to talk about the guys that could potentially get upgrades that you should be looking into today, whether you should buy them, not buy them. Some guys are overvalued, some aren't. We're going to go through some of them guys. But the thing along this line is 400k for a 99 seems like a great price. The one thing that's interesting about Evos this year compared to Team of the Year is Team of the Year doesn't have a lot of synergies. Some of these Evos have BU, some of these Team of the Years might not. Some of these Evos might be more desirable if you're only looking at synergies and you're only looking at, overall on stats. But a lot of people want the new cards, and that's why we see these 16,000 Dahlins up right now. So that is one thing you most definitely do have to keep in mind, and I tried to warn you guys and bring it up, is there's so many of these Team of the Years or Evos that were pulled in sets. And now we're seeing them. The second they get their upgrades, all these people were stashing them all year, waiting for them to get the Team of the Year. Now they're all trying to fire sale them. And that's what's happening here. Don't be surprised you can pick up a Dahlin for 350k, 300k later today. A 99 one. But it's definitely something to think about. If you can pick up the 99 for 300k as an Evo, and his Team of the Year is going for $1 million, it might not be a bad buy. The prices might come together. One way or the other, that price gap has to close. Either his Team of the Year is going to go for like 600k, or the Evo is going to go for like 600k. Your guess is as good as mine on this one, because again, we're seeing so much different stuff this year with, the Evos. There were so many of them completable in sets. There was so many, the synergies aren't as different. Last year, I don't know why I'm looking at Evo 2s for Team of the Year or Dahlin, but last year there was so many synergies for the team, and he's not on defensive either. I guess I should quit talking and pay attention. But there was so many synergies, and this year there is 4. There's 4 synergies last year, 6 total. Last year there was 12, so it made the Team of the Years that much better than the Evos. This year there's only 4 more synergies. And you look at, like, Dahlin, the synergies he has aren't groundbreaking. You look at Eichel, it's like, I don't need to have those synergies. So it's definitely going to be interesting. And like I said, you look, most of them are going for about $1 million. And then you look at the 96s, the 97s, a lot of them are going for around anywhere from 400 to about 700k. For the most part. I mean, we'll look here real quick, get a better confirmation. I mean, we got 600k on Pedersen. We got another 600k there. Hannafin, you are not $1 million. Sorry, pal. Aho's only 430k. McDavid's in the $1 million range, as we brought up. Pedersen, 600 again. Werenski, 530. I know I seen him up earlier for cheaper than that, like 400 something. Yep, there it is. A 97 going for 400 some k. And that's why I bring these up right here, because this is so important. Because we're going to go back and talk about Evos. If and only if, and I want to say if and only if, and I expect them to keep it the same, but you never know with EA changing things. If they keep the format the same for every single Team of the Year, that means there's only going to be 3 players that get a 99 overall that are forwards for offensive Team of the Year. And then obviously your guess is as good as mine on who gets defensive Team of the Year. Be curious to see if these 4 players that are out in packs right now are in that defensive Team of the Year next week or not as well, or if they'll have separate players. But right now, I can tell you one thing. Patrick Kane's getting a Team of the Year. Patrick Kane has an Evo, I believe, right? He has an Evo 2. Patrick Kane is getting a Team of the Year, and he's going to be on the first line, more than likely. He's got like a 9-point lead on everybody else in the lead, minus Kucherov, unless he completely falls off the face of the earth. Expect Patrick Kane to get a Team of the Year, and he is currently, what, 92? Yeah, 92, 699k. It is, I mean, it's fair. It's not like these guys were completable in sets and it's easy to obtain. So I'd say it's a fair price. You want to buy Patrick Kane, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, because if he goes for $1 million, he goes for $1 million. But 700k, that's still too steep for me. I'm sorry. But the reason I bring up Patrick Kane, I bring up Kucherov, is because those two are locks for Team of the Year. Kucherov, I mean, I don't think anybody's catching. He could stop playing right now. I think he'd lead the league in point. Maybe not. Patrick Kane's not that far behind. But that's just the way Kucherov's been playing this year. And then that means there's one last player that's going to see that first line team of the year and at 99. And that first line player could be Crosby, it could be Gaudreau, it could be Draisaitl, it could be Rantanen, it could be, probably won't be Wheeler, it might not be Rantanen either. But Gaudreau and Crosby look like the front runners for the third player on the first line. And the thing with that is, I know people love Johnny Gaudreau. But you look at him, he's one of those Evos that was completable. Well, he might not have been completable most sites. He was a pack guy, I think. But still, 800K, 1.4 million. For a 97. He's a 96 now, and he might end up a 97 if they keep the format the same, and that is very scary if you're going to buy a Gaudreau, because we just showed you what are a lot of these Evos going for, especially the 96s and 97s. They are not going for a lot. Now, granted, like I said, it's a completely different story. We can talk about it. They start to go up a little bit more. That's obviously possible, but if you're looking to, buy an Evo and sell him the day Team of the Year comes out and then buy a fancy Team of the Year card, you're going to get burned. Especially with a guy like Gaudreau if he doesn't get that first line. I mean, you look at McKinnon, 600K. You look at... Oh, we just brought him up. Don't do this to me, EA. Let's bring up another card here. You look at Pasternak, 600K. He's been around 600K. Larkin, 449. McKinnon, again, 700K. There is Dahlin, we already brought up, who's like 400K. There is some very nice players. Mitch Marner, 800K. Marner, he was, again, a guy in packs, though, so it's different. If you get the guys in packs, it's a different story. That's the thing with Gaudreau as well. He might hold 700K. He might hold 800K because he was in packs, but Marner's a perfect example. Marner is up for 800K. You're not going to get much more than that for him when his Team of the Year is for $1 million. But for some of these guys that are, those completable in sets, that's a completely different story. Like the Taylor Halls of the world, 210K for Taylor Hall. That's because he ain't getting a Team of the Year. But regardless, the Pasternaks of the world are a prime example. He's a 97, he's 600K. I'm almost in shock. Pasternak is a rare breed to see. There's only 2 of them up. The fact that Team of the Year's out and there's still only 2 of them up, that shows you they're still holding value for the players that people want. So I do think, to an extent, it's not a bad idea if you're buying the rare, not so common players like the Patrick Kanes to get their Evo. I don't think it's a terrible idea. Patrick Kane could go for 800-900K and he is only 700K. That's a couple 100K profit. But the guys I don't like and the guys I am very worried about people buying are guys like Steven S. Stamkos. It's probably not an S, but he is 600K. He's only 600K. He's 600K though. We just brought it up. A lot of the Evos that are 96, 97s are 600K. I'll bring up the list again of guys with more points than Stamkos right now. Gaudreau, Crosby, Draisaitl, Rantanen, Wheeler. All up there. All of those guys Stamkos would have to surpass to get a 99 overall. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. He might not even get a second line Team of the Year. If he doesn't get a second line Team of the Year, he's a 96. And again, we say 500K, 600K. When an offensive Team of the Year comes out, there are so many 96s, 97s, 99s. They're not going to be worth as much. I mean, they're going to be worth something, obviously, but to think 500K, 600K, it's very expectable. And 600K right now for Stamkos as an Evo is pretty steep. And that's the same story about Rantanen. 700K for his Evo. If you bought that Evo when it was cheap, good job on your part. But now's probably the time to get rid of him. 700K for Rantanen. Why not? Do you think he's going to get a 99? Because if he doesn't, he's not worth 700K. That's for sure. I say that with confidence, and I shouldn't, because what if he is? That could be scary. He doesn't really have great synergy, so it's not like he has one of those team of the or Evos that are like, I gotta have him for the synergies. That is the thing with Pasternak too, is I think he has the synergies, right? We'll take a look real quick. He should have BU if I'm not mistaken. No. Oh, interesting. Did every other Evo but him that was high of an overall have him? Let's take a look for Blake Wheeler. Wheeler does not have an Evo. I did not think so. But that is the lead runners right now. And we will try to do a Team of the Year predictions video in a week or two, I guess, for Offensive Team of the Year. But right now, Gaudreau, Crosby, they're probably fighting for that first line spot. Then you have Draisaitl, Rantanen, and Wheeler in that second and third line spot. Along with Stamkos and Ovechkin. I didn't mention Marchand, but Marchand, maybe they give him a defensive team. I think they've done that before with Marchand. If not, Marchand's a front runner ahead of Stamkos as well. But at this very moment, Panarin, Ovechkin, Lindholm, Monahan, Huberdeau, Giroux, they're all on the outside looking in as far as getting a Team of the Year if you are interested in looking at some of those guys as far as Evos and stuff are concerned. Brent Burns, Morgan Riley looking pretty good to be the first line for Offensive Team of the Year. Giordano's not that far behind him right now. But that's just my thoughts. I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure we talked a little bit about the 90 set, the Evos in general. I just didn't want to completely ignore the fact that I was like, don't buy this guy. And then Rasmus Dahlin does that to us, which it makes sense now that that's how they change it, but I just thought it'd be a good idea to kind of think, you got to keep that in mind now when you're buying these Evos. The 96s, the 97s compared to the 99s. Everybody's not guaranteed a 99, even if they already have a 95. Otherwise, though, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.